throes of moving plasterboard from a pallet on the drive to the garden room.
We've done how many? How many were there?
We've done 11,
and
this is the last one.
Right.
Being recorded for posterity. I'm ashamed of that.
But when we realise we're too old to do this.
Why?
Right.
Okay, so
It's got to go
we need to set it up on auto at
from
the
there
bottom, so they can see.
Down to there. Right.
So they can see the
Oh,
scenery.
it's suddenly battery's running out. Not too far.
Oh.
Ta-da!
That's what you call teamwork. Teamwork.
So we're going to cut around the neck and up the sleeves. In my bin, which you can probably just see there, sipping my coffee. And see if it's fixed anywhere else. That comes out, and that can be used for another purpose. That is a good bit of black fabric there. Look at that, I could make a blouse out of that in itself, so I might just use that and make a little blouse. Right, so let's start with the sleeves. Makes a lot of mess, but never mind. We now have two pieces of fabric like that. Let me just show you. Two pieces of fabric, one which was the front and one which was the back. So I'm going to now put that to one side and I'm going to show you the pattern. A New Look 6808. It's an easy, and the one I'm thinking about doing is something on the lines of this one. Okay, so I've measured myself from a 44-inch bust, a 38-inch waist and a 46-inch hip. The biggest is a 40-inch bust, a 32-inch waist and a 42-inch hip. So I'm going to have to add some onto there. The 40, I'm going to have to add about 4 inches. The waist is 40, I'm going to have to add 4 inches on. The waist, which is 32, I'm going to have to add 6 inches on. and the hip, which is 46, is a 42 there, so I'm going to have to add 4 inches onto there. Right, so this is the pattern, this is the front and the back, and I'm going to start with the waistband, and the waist, I want the waist to be 38, so I need it to be around about, that's my waist is 38, so I need to be about 39 inches. So normally this is including the seam allowance. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring that, and that's 10 1/4. So if you double it, because it's front and back, that's 21. And then if I do this one at the waist, this is just a fraction more. So 21 plus 21 is 42, which is going to give me a little bit of movement on the waist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of cutting round there, I'm going to add a seam allowance on there, so that will allow me a bit extra room on the sides. Now the bust should be 44, and if I take that, that's 11, so that's 22, and from here to here is another 22, so that's 44. So I think the same thing will apply. I'll just add an extra seam allowance on this side bit. I won't add a seam allowance on here or the sleeves. I'll leave those as they are, but I'll add a bit extra seam allowance on here. Now the hips should be 46, so if I go by the hips here, that's 11, so that's 22, add 11, that's 44, and my hips are 46. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to the waist, I'm going to taper out another inch or more there, just to add a bit more width, so that I've got movement around here. So that's what we'll do next. So there is a seam down here on both sides. What I've done is I've taken this fabric and I've folded it. Can you see there's a seam there and there? But I'm actually going to just incorporate that in the style of the dress, of the top rather. I'm going to make sure the hem is matching, and then I shall incorporate that as the hem on the bottom of the shirt. So what we're going to do is we're going to pin that to there, because we know that's a straighter hitch. I'm going to have that more or less where it is. There is a slight play there. No, it's not too bad. But I'm going to cut up there a bit wider. I'm going to basically go like that. So we'll pin that on and we'll take it from there. So it's pinned on there, and the seam is actually running down there, runs there, down there. I can feel it through there. So it's actually going to catch the shoulder a bit, but that doesn't matter because you're going to have a collar on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut round there, cut round there, cut straight down there, but here I'm going to come out about ½ an inch. Then I'm going to carry on, and then I'm going to stay around like that, and then I'm going to taper it out to there to give it a bit of flair. Where the notches are, I'll put a little snip, snip, and just a little snip, and just a little snip there. Right, so that's your front. Now I'm going to do the same with the back. This here is left over. We'll see if we can get the collar or something out of that, so we'll put that to one side. This is the back one. Don't forget we've also got the sleeves to contend with, but this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Right sides together. Match that seam there first. Turn that like that. The fold is down here. I've done that because of the way I've traced the pattern off. I've traced the pattern that way, so we'll put it on there, match it at the bottom so that it all fits nicely, and then pin it on. So So now the back is on, pinned on, and the same as before. Oh, that's not square. Let's get that right. There, that's better. Let's get this straightened up. The back is on, and as before, I'll cut round there. Sorry, I'll go round there, keep to the edge there, and then I'll come down here, keep to the edge. Then I'll add a seam allowance there to there, and then I'll taper out to here to make it wider. So now this is the back, close to the edge there, and then instead of going down there, I've gone out, which allows for the movement on the hips. As I said before, I'm not going to take these darts in because I don't find with my body the way I am, I don't like pulling it into the waist because I don't really have a decent waist. So it's going to be more of a one that drapes. Right, so basically we have to make two collars, and the two collars are going to be like this. They're basically a curve. So what I might do is have a seam here. I'm going to allow a seam allowance there, and then I'll take the other half out of that other piece of fabric there. So that's going to be like that. So this is the first half. It should be on the fold there. It isn't. I've had to add a little bit extra on. You'll see there's a seam there, but because it's such a busy fabric and because I'm going to be sewing down there, you probably won't see it. There's also another seam there, but I don't think you'll see that either. So now I have to cut another one like that with the right side together. So I have to open this up and have it so that the right sides are so that that's the right side facing up, and then I have to do the same with this one. And basically what I did was I had it so that it was like that. I know I'm going against the grain of the fold, but I think I might get away with it. We'll soon find out, won't we, girls and gentlemen? So let's see how we go. What we could do with this, if you wanted to, would be to find that's not the bias. The bias is where you get the greatest pull, like that. And I'm not sure if we can do it. Is that a good bias? That's a good bias. So what we could do is make strips of bias for to wrap around the armhole. What we do there is pull that there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that, pull is there, that's the longest thing. So I'm going to have, see, if I went that way you don't get much pull, but if you get that way you've got a lot of pull, and that's your bias. So I'm going to do it like that there. So these are going to be my bias strips. I'm going to make them about, let's get it straight first, make it about 1.5 inches. I think I've got a chink in my blade, so we'll do that again. We'll have to join this all up, but it's going to be, as I say, you won't notice it because of the way that the pattern is. So the only last piece that we need is the little bow part. Oh no, we need some facings. So the facings, find which way, that's the tightest bit there. So if we do that like that, yeah, put that one on the fold there, isn't going to work, so let's do it like that, and we're going to have to add an extra there. So it's actually supposed to go like that. but we are going to take that risk of going crossways on the bias on the fabric. Let's find out which is that's the one. We'll cut a piece like that. That's the bowl. Right, so those are rubbish. Right, okay. This is where I've stopped because the rest of the design goes with the pattern, and basically it's sewing the side, the shoulder seams, the side seams, because I wasn't putting darts in. There's no darts, and then bias binding the sleeves, and what else did I do? I sewed the frill together where the joint was at the back, and then I overlocked the edge, turned it under, and sewed it to the neck, and basically had it sewn to the neck with the facing, so there was the front and back sewn together. You attach a little tab at the front here, and then sew the facing on, and the collar goes between the facing and the body of the fabric, and then that tucks in, the facing tucks in, so you've got this frill at the front. Now I can't find where it is. I don't know where it's gone to. If I find it, I will show you it, but I have got some photographs of me wearing it. So that was basically the process. I have made two other tops. One was a black one. It was the body of the blouse was black cotton, pattern black cotton. You'll see the picture here. I liked it, but I found the cotton was a bit too stiff. But I liked the way that I did the chiffon collar, and I did a little embroidery pattern around the edge of the chiffon in pink, and I thought that set it off very nicely. I had made another one in red, in like a red rose florally type of fabric, which was a softer drape. Made it slightly wider and slightly longer. Wasn't sure if I liked that. It's probably not that I'm not sure if I like it. It's probably because my body, you know, I don't know if you're the same, ladies, but if you're big, everything you put on, you think, oh God, it looks awful on me. Because I'm not thin. We're just got to accept the fact that we're getting to look like grannies, and grannies don't look, nobody looks at a granny anymore. So anyway, this red one, I topped that with a red collar, and the red collar I took from some fabric that Debbie, who works with us, she gave me a bag full of dance fabrics that belonged to her daughter, and inside the bag was this bright red, and I thought, oh, that would go lovely with this top. But once it was done, I just felt it was a little bit too bright. So another charity donation, probably, after I've worn it a couple of times. Anyway, would I do it again? Yes. Would I change anything? Well, I think the next time I do it, I will do version C. I will do this version here, that one there, because I like the colour on that one. I quite like the way that the collar, don't know if you can see it. I quite like the way the colour is at the side. I thought that was rather nice. This is a bit too, this one here, where am I? That one here is a bit too femme for me. But I like that one. I like that one. So I might make that one. And I think I've also made that. I would also make that one. So you never know, you might see some more with me wearing that. Now excuse the video on this little section because this is just done from my laptop and I don't know, it's coming through to me as being slightly blurred, which is actually quite nice because you can't see my wrinkles. And I haven't got any makeup on, so you know, I'm makeupless today. It's 28th of June and 2 days time I'm going to draw for those patterns to celebrate from my thank you for becoming and subscribing to my website, my vlog, in 2 days time, which is the 30th, and I shall do a little video of that to let you see who the winners are. And until then, bye.